Hello again, and again, welcome. My name is Timothy Fleming Jr. I'm an author, entrepreneur. I'm also a book publisher. Since 2013, I've been helping people to write and publish their books. And again, I'm doing this series of videos for those who are thinking about writing a book or those who are in the process of writing a book. Now, I just wanted to share some very helpful information that can set your book up for success. So again, before we get started, I want you to do me one favor and go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can be in the loop. Anytime we get ready to produce a new video, any new uploads, you'll be the first one to get notified. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Help me grow this channel. Help me grow this channel so that I can provide more value and reach more people with this very valuable content. So let's go ahead and dive in. Again, when we talk about writing a book, one of the biggest questions people ask is, where do I start? Where do I start? And as I mentioned in the previous video, if you don't know how to start the process, then you can find yourself stagnated, stalling. You can find yourself dealing with things such as writer's block. You just can't seem to get your thoughts to flow. You don't know where to go. And unfortunately, a lot of people find themselves in that exact situation. And the book they started out writing, or they set out on the journey to write, that book ends up getting placed on a shelf, on the back burner, and weeks or months or years pass by, and then they look up and say, "Hey, I was supposed to write a book," and they end up just forgetting all about it. But I encourage people that if God has placed a book on your heart, then yeah, you need to focus your attention on getting that book written, getting that book out there, because it's something that is needed. So let's look at this here, and this is part two to where do I start in this process of writing a book. So in a previous video, I mentioned that the first thing you need to do is you need to do the research and find out what type of book your target audience is looking for. And that actually brings me to the second point. You need to identify a target audience. A lot of times people set out to write books and they fail to do one of the most important things. In fact, this is not just in the area of writing, but in business in general. One of the things most people fail to do is identify a target audience. They want to come out with a book or a product or service, anything, but they don't spend the time to actually identify who they're trying to reach with their book or their product or service. You need to identify a target audience. So that's the first thing. Who are you writing for? Who are you trying to reach with your book? If you enjoy the content that you're receiving in these videos, then I know you're going to enjoy my online course on how to make six figures with your nonfiction book. Go ahead and click on the link in the description below and sign up for my online course. It's the only writing course that you'll need that'll take you through the entire process of how to write your book, how to identify your target audience, how to structure your book, how to get your thoughts to flow, how to overcome things such as writer's block, also how to create your first draft and then turn around and move forward into publication, and also how to market and promote your book so that you could hit that bestsellers list and actually make sales. So go ahead and click on the link in the description below and sign up today. Get started on your journey of writing and putting together a successful book. I'll see you there. If you come out with a book and you haven't done that part first of identifying the target audience, I can pretty much guarantee you that you're going to find yourself stagnated as a result of a lack of direction. You don't know anything about, well, if you don't have a target audience, then you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle with your voice. You're going to struggle even with the messaging itself, the message, the theme of the book. You need to know who you're writing for and understand that not everyone is going to be your cup of tea. I'll give you an example here. There's the popular televangelist, Joyce Myers. I mean, she's written probably over 100 books. Joyce Myers knows who her audience is. Her audience is a Christian faith-based audience, people who are looking for biblical guidance. But even within that niche, she is niched down even more, that she is writing specifically to people who are dealing with internal struggles and looking for personal development type of coaching in the form of that book. So she deals with topics such as overcoming heartbreak or discovering one's self, discovering your purpose, inspirational topics. Now, her books are entirely different from some Bible scholar somewhere who was writing on systematic theology. And they are going into, looking at the history or Old Testament, New Testament history and looking at the Greek and the Hebrew. Well, both are writing to the Christian audience. However, one is providing self-help content while the other is providing scholarly theological content. So you need to know who your audience is, because if you're writing a theological dissertation, trust me, the self-help crowd does not want to, they don't want to hear that, period. They're like, this sounds like foreign language to me, and they're going to tune you out. And if you're writing a self-help book with all of this motivation and encouragement of 5 steps to your best life now, and you're trying to spoon feed that to the theologians, well, they're just going to sit back and pick it apart theologically and, just mark through it like a professor, and it's not going to appeal to them. So you need to know who your target audience is. Joyce Myers is not trying to write to Stephen King's fans. And Stephen King, the maestro, the horror maestro, the king of horror and suspense, well, he's not trying to write for Joyce Myers' crowd. Stephen King knows who his audience is. Joyce Myers knows who her audience is, and your audience matters. So you want to take the time out first to actually identify who your target audience is. What are their demographics? What is the age group? Are you writing a book for teens or adults? Working adults or professionals? For men or women? For relationships, couples, or for singles? Who is your target audience? So you really have to take some time and ask some serious questions before you pen one line on that sheet of paper. Before you write down a single line, you need to find out who you're writing for. If you don't do this, trust me, you're going to struggle. And I mean struggle hard in your book and find yourself kind of all over the place, scatterbrained, because you're trying to appeal to everybody, but everyone is not your cup of tea. So you need to know who you're writing to.